Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. Today we're going on a road trip, so we're going to load up and we're going to head to Findlay, Ohio to the annual Armed Forces Day Military Vehicle Show and Swap Meet. So, favorite show, it's fairly close to me. It's several hours away, but it's still fairly close. And usually it's a great show for me to be able to pick up bits and pieces, little odds and ends, and dig through boxes for some good old green iron gold. There's usually some good stuff, and myself, my buddy Jim, and my buddy Cal, we're all going down, and we'll be searching through to try and find some good pieces. So, thanks for watching along. Of course, like always, give us a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and of course, most importantly, please check out the link in the description down below for the Green Iron TV merchandise store. All kinds of cool t-shirts. I'm wearing the Green Iron 715 shirt. I got Green Iron hats. There's t-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of neat things in there. So please take a moment, check that stuff out. I do appreciate every little bit of profit that we get from the Green Iron TV merchandise store. I use to turn around, put back in these vehicles, keep these vehicles running, and keep them show and parade ready. So I appreciate every little bit, and I appreciate every little piece that everybody buys from us. So thank you very much, and off to Finley we go. Well, folks, we're back from Finley. So, good show. Always great people. Got to run into a ton of people. A lot of people that know me from the show circuit or know me from the YouTube channel here. So talked to a ton of guys. I appreciate if you stopped and said hi or whatever, flagged me down. It was nice talking with you. Glad to have you. Be a part of the military vehicle stuff. A lot of good stuff. We walked around for quite a bit. Didn't quite find as much as I'd like to have. I mean, there was a few pieces here and there. All in all, I think maybe the parts vendors, the people actually selling hard parts for military vehicles, either the actual online big vendors that come in, or the small guys that set up a swap meet table. I felt that was down a little bit. Not as much hard parts. There was a lot more uniforms and knickknacks and stuff like that, and which is nice. It still made a lot of people and a lot of stuff, and it is nice to have that stuff there because it is nice to pick up pieces of of clothing or uniform stuff to add to vehicles to help make a display. But I was there looking for hard parts. Got a couple good deals on a few little bits and pieces. Didn't buy a ton. Picked up some extra paint because you're always good. I'm always using paint. I'm always got something to paint. There's always something. So I picked up an extra case of paint just to have. Going to the big shows and swap meets, it's always the best place to buy the paint because you save a ton on shipping. So I usually every year or so when I go to a big show, I'll stock up on paint and keep it in inventory here because I know I'm going to use it eventually. But other than that, it was a great show. But there's one thing I need to address, and it's becoming a growing trend with these military vehicle shows and a lot of shows and stuff like that. And this is just my opinion. Take it for what it is. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. But the fact that these shows keep progressing to starting earlier and earlier in the week means they have a tendency to wrap up earlier and earlier. So, these shows used to be all weekend. And, now they've shifted so far forward that Saturday is the closing of the show. Well, for a lot of people used to stay all day Saturday. They'd maybe, pack up Sunday morning and leave or whatever. But the trend is becoming more and more that by Saturday morning, most people are packing up and getting out. And I think it's one of the things that's kind of hurting all these shows. People are getting there and setting up on Wednesdays. So they're there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yes, they're tired. They want to go home. I get it. But this trend of starting the shows earlier and earlier and earlier. Why can't the show be Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Because the biggest problem is unless you're vending at the show, if you're just a regular person and you're coming in to see the show or try and get stuff, let's face it, a lot of us work. A lot of us are working stiffs. We have jobs. We have weekday jobs. Guess what? Like this year, Saturday was the only day I had available to be able to get down to that show. So by the time we got up in the morning, everybody met up and we got down there. We got down at the show at noon on Saturday, and a lot of vendors were packing up. And it becomes kind of annoying, to travel all that way down there, to get to the show, and half the people are packing up to leave already. They complain, well, I've been here since Wednesday, or I've been here since Thursday. Or, hey, I haven't sold that much. Well, yeah, you haven't sold that much because the main day is gonna be Saturday when the most people can make it there, and we're shorting ourselves. It was. I was amazed. I mean, it was towards the end of the day Saturday, and there was a family of 4. We were walking out to carry a load back to the vehicle, and I mean, this was like an hour before the show closed, and here comes a family of 4, and they were paying admission to get in and so forth like that, and I'm like, boy, they're going to be disappointed because everyone's pretty much packed up and left, so they're going to be walking through empty stuff, and that's what's kind of a disappointment. I don't know what I don't know where this trend started of how we need to keep pushing forward and pushing forward and pushing forward the start day of an event, because all it's doing is it's taken away from the end of the event. And the whole purpose of the event is to attract public. I mean, the MVPA, this is one of the big things that they've had this big hoopla over recently. And how do you attract new people? Well, how do you attract new people? You have to have the show when people can come. New people aren't going to come on a Wednesday or on a Thursday to get to a show. They have jobs, they have lives, they have stuff going on. They're going to come on a Saturday. But if they come on a Saturday and half the crap's packed up and gone, they're going to think, what a miserable organization. Why would I want to be part of it? So if we're trying to grow this military vehicle hobby, we need to cater to bringing in new people. But to bring in new people, we need to be able to do it when new people are available to come in and see what the hobby's all about. This is just my little bit of a rant. Take it for what it is. You can like it, you can hate it, you can do whatever you want with it. Don't really care. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. You don't like it? Tough. But, it's the same thing with the big military national convention. We're getting there so early, and everybody's packing it up and leaving on Saturdays. Why? Why don't these shows go over the weekend? And people are like, well, Sunday's our travel day to get home or whatever. No, it's not, because most of you people are packing up on Saturday and getting the hell out of there. So, for most people, you're missing the same amount of work. If you're taking off time from work to go to these shows, you may even be missing more work by taking off earlier in the week. If you're taking off Wednesday through Friday off of work to be at the show, what difference does it make if you get home Saturday night or Sunday night? So, I don't know. It's just my opinion. It's my rant. I don't know. Green Iron rant, I guess. But take it for what it is. I still do enjoy going to the shows. Unfortunately, it looks like this year, just the way things are lining up, I am not going to make the Military Vehicle Preservation, the Nationals, which is in Louisville, Kentucky. Really wanted to get back to Louisville, Kentucky. It was a great show when I was there. What was that? 2017, I believe, is when the show was there. It was a great show. Really wanted to get back there, but just timing and the way things are lining up with work and some other personal things going, I'm just not going to make it. And, it happens. But hopefully, I'll be able to make another national here pretty soon. I enjoy getting down. I enjoy judging at the nationals, and hopefully I'll be able to continue that. And hopefully next year, I think it's in Virginia next year. We'll have to see how it lines up and how it just fits into my schedule, and see if I can make that, and hopefully get down and judge vehicles next year. But anyway, hey, I want to thank you guys for following along, especially if you've stayed long enough to hear through my rant here at the end of it. I appreciate it. Hey, let me know. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Are these shows ending too early? Do we need to be there on the weekend to attract new people in? and what? Or am I completely off base? Let me know, man. I don't know. It's just my opinion. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for following along. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Check out the merchandise in the Green Iron TV merch store. And like always, I hope you guys have a great day.